Howdy, folks. Welcome back to episode. What episode is this? Episode 10?
Are we at 10? We might be. I think so.
It's definitely somewhere around there. We'll fix that in post. But welcome back. This week, we want to talk about what people mean when they are talking about healthy skin. Most of the time, I think people are picturing something pretty specific, probably something related to like their favorite skincare influencer. You know, the skin's bright, the skin's clear, it's glowing, it's got this even toned, glassy look. It's smooth, it's high performing. And I think that image has become a shorthand for health. But winter really changes the conditions that your skin is operating in. You know, we've talked about this a lot. You've got colder air, which means lower humidity, and you're coming in and out of indoor heating. So there's a lot of temperature shifts. Your barrier repair structurally is different and your water loss from your skin is increasing. And so when we keep expecting skin to look like it does in high humidity months, we can end up pushing past what the season is what the season is capable of supporting. So in this episode, we don't want to try to lower anyone's standards, but maybe it's about just shifting the goalposts a bit. So, Lydia, from your perspective, do you think winter skin is asking for something different than summer skin?
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, I think one of the most important things first is like if your skin is functioning and it's not red and it's not dry and it feels healthy to you and maybe you've been to the dermatologist and they say your skin's looking good, you can usually trust that your skin is in good shape. If you feel like something's wrong with your skin, that's a different story. But in general, when we look at healthy skin, right? Like oftentimes on social media or like in images that we see of like people who are putting makeup on or in advertisements, that skin has been edited or filtered or there's specific lighting to indicate that the features are very smooth. There's no bumps. There's no like natural deviation in surface, right? And those things are just not quite normal, right? They're edited because that's just what we do when we're creating ads. So your skin is going to probably have like natural deviations in the surface. There might be some areas of redness. There can be some areas of bumpiness, and all of that can still be within the scope of healthy, right? So in the winter, if your skin is looking like a little matte or it's not as like dewy as it might be in the summer when it's more humid, that can be totally fine. You can be taking care of your skin perfectly. So I would say go by what you intuitively feel is healthy for yourself. For example, no pain, no swelling, no redness. And then don't feel like you want to match your skin to someone who has constructed a uh, advertisement, right, to sell a product.
Yeah, health isn't about your skin looking exactly like a skincare influencer's skin. It's about how your skin feels to you. I think that's been another kind of overarching theme of our winter talks is just listening to your body, because that's what health is really about.
Exactly.
Yeah, lack of glow doesn't automatically mean a lack of health. It might just mean that your skin is allocating its resources differently. And I think that's where calm becomes a more useful or more helpful metric. So, Lydia, when we talk about calm skin, what are we actually describing biologically?
Yeah, we've talked a little bit in previous episodes about how your skin barrier can sometimes get like cracks in it, right? Or like you can have areas of the skin barrier where it's structurally not as sound. And in those areas, if irritants get inside, or you simply just have, nerves a little bit exposed to, the environment, you're going to feel like pain or you're going to get sort of like irritation and inflammation in those areas. And so that's an indicator, like a red alert, like we need to do something to help your skin. If you don't have those, then you're usually good. Your skin is usually calm. And that's, barring if you have any like other serious skin conditions that you're already like managing with like a healthcare provider. But if you're just looking simply at like, how's my skin barrier doing? Is my skin looking healthy to me? One of the easiest ways is just to rule out all of those red flags. I don't see, peeling, flakiness, dryness. I don't see red. My face isn't stinging when I put lotion on. I don't feel like my face is constantly dry or tight. Sometimes you get that like really tight feeling and you're like, oh, that doesn't feel very good. Those are all signs that your skin is struggling. If you don't have any of those, that's great. That means your skin is in a calm state.
Yeah, I think what stands out to me there is that calm is not something flashy or something that's going to photograph well, which is why, for the most part, social media and advertisers aren't really pushing calm. But at the end of the day, especially in winter, if your barrier is sealed and your nerve endings aren't overreacting, that's a win. That's a huge success. And ultimately, if you're not calm, you're never going to hit glow, right? So calm is going to create the conditions that allow that glow to return later on when maybe the winter conditions aren't so harsh.
Yeah, and I would even add to that, right? Like if your skin barrier is sealed properly and your skin is healthy, then you can start to add the makeup products that give you the shine and the glow, right? Like you can do the makeup routines that have, multiple products and like create that look and your skin will stay healthy underneath it, right? As long as you're using products that work for you. But if your skin is in a state of disrepair and it's not as calm, like York's saying, right? Then when you start to trying to go to create those looks, like some of those products are going to sting, they're not going to sit as comfortably on your skin, and they could potentially irritate because your barrier isn't fully intact. So yeah, even like when you're trying to create that type of like, beautiful glass skin look, just be aware that, yeah, underneath all of it needs to be that calm, healthy skin barrier.
Yeah, and that glow it seems to be really attractive for people. Like people really want to chase these summer outcomes in the middle of winter. So, they're pushing exfoliation because their skin is looking dull, or they're adding actives because the texture isn't exactly where they want it. And then they're interpreting this discomfort on their face as a failure.
Totally. It's funny too. I'm like thinking about it now. Like, I don't know how well you can see my face, but like for me, like I just showered, I don't know, like an hour ago. And like I put on my face lotion, just like our regular Suhu lotion. And then I have like a bucket of shea butter, which I put on after, which is like a little bit of an occlusive. And like my skin's got a little bit of glow because of that shea butter, right? So like there's a little shine there. So like we don't need to be like, doing anything crazy intense for it, right? It's just like that
Yeah.
basic care routine and you can still get there.
Totally, yeah, and then when you're sticking to that basic care routine, you're actually more in line with what winter is asking for from your skin. One
For
second,
sure.
let me when you keep trying to just escalate your skincare routine in these harsh winter conditions, something's gonna give eventually. You're gonna break that skin barrier. So success in winter just looks a little different. You should be chasing fewer reactions, fewer flare-ups, less stinging, and more stability.
Totally.
And that I think connects to everything that we've talked about this season. Minimum routines, habits that quietly undermine your skin, reading labels. Oh wait, we haven't done that one yet. Undermine your skin. All of it's just pointing to the same idea, which is in winter, the smartest move is often reducing friction.
Well,
So we talked a little bit about some of the things people are doing to try to hit those summer goals in the middle of winter. But at the same time, like, people want to look good in the winter, and that's fair. So what are some practical tips, Lydia, from a scientific perspective that might help people get closer to the skin they want when these conditions are a lot more harsh?
yeah. So, my main suggestion is if your skin feels like it's a little dry or you have, a little flakiness or a little redness and your skin looks, dull, don't go ahead and just use like a harsh exfoliator. That's maybe going to give you like a temporary visual relief from what you're seeing 'cause you'll, be rubbing off the dry skin and whatnot. But ultimately, it's going to make things worse in the long run to be like harshly exfoliating. So, if you do have an exfoliation routine, I'd say in the winter, be even gentler with it, right? Like if you're exfoliating once a week, like see how that goes, and kind of go from there. Don't use it as a band aid for some of these other issues that show up. The quickest way to get your skin back on track is to, like York said, to start to pare down some of the actives and really just focus on the basic routine. Give your skin time to recover. And I know that can be hard sometimes, but give your skin like a week or two to recover, and then you can kind of start adding things back into your routine, and that irritation should go away. And then finally, really, if you're like looking for that glow, I suggest finding some makeup products or some lotions that maybe like are slightly tinted or maybe give you that kind of glow that you want, but still keep kind of the basic ingredients. And there are some like good brands that do this. One thing like I've done in the past is like just take some of like the lotion that I use every day and you can just add a slightly darker tint of foundation into that directly. You can kind of make your own tinted lotion and go from there. There are like ways to make these products more gentle. by just kind of like feeding them into your basic routine. And then, yeah, like I think, long term health, right, of skin, like really is about consistency. So the more consistent you can be in your routine, especially in like harsher climates, the better long term outcome you're going to have. So it's just back to that, like, don't be harsh, be consistent. And if you do want to add extra things or, you like doing your makeup, like I like to do my makeup, just be sure you're using gentle products and integrate them into your routine in a smart way.
So, Lydia, in one word, what do you think winter skin is really looking for?
Definitely calm. We're looking for calm, build the foundation for health, and be consistent, right? So just meet that sort of foundational standard of calm, and then you can go from there.
Yeah, and I think, like we've said, like it doesn't sound super flashy, and maybe it sounds like we're asking people to lower their expectations, but I think there's a, or maybe we're asking people expectations, but I don't think that's the case. I think what we're doing is strategically moving these goalposts so that you can have the skin you want, no matter what the conditions outside are looking like. I think choosing calm is choosing to support your barrier through real environmental conditions instead of just demanding peak performance from a stress system. And when you are able to adjust your goals, not only you're going to see those results that you want, you might actually see that you're able to let go of some of that skincare anxiety that happens when we're getting all this redness and stinging and flare ups, etc. And then when the environment does shift again, as it's about to, as we head into spring, your skin's going to be ready. So
Cool.
if you guys want to go deeper, we've written a full blog post on healthy versus calm and what winter skin is actually looking for on our website, suhuskin.com. And let us know what calm skin looks like to you. And if you have any other additional questions or topics that you'd like us to discuss, we eagerly await your commentary. But yeah, with that, we're closing out our winter series, folks. So thank you for spending the season with us. And thank you, Lydia, for all of your expert PhD chemistry knowledge this season.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, we'll see you next week.